How quickly inflation continues to cool is still an open question.
Good morning and welcome to Taking Stock. It's Jobs Friday. The numbers were just released, and the unemployment rate dropped a bit while new jobs came in just shy of expectations. Here to break down what this means for the economy is Empower's Chief Investment Strategist, Marta Norton. Marta, you just looked at the numbers. Give us your first thoughts.
Well, in many ways, this report confirms a stable labor market. The Bureau of Labor Statistics actually pointed out that the addition of 143,000 jobs to payrolls, which is what we saw, was roughly in keeping with the average monthly gain over the course of 2024. So, sure, we had a miss at the payroll headline level, but the unemployment rate is lower, and we had positive revisions to payrolls in November and in December.
Are there any seasonal effects worth calling out? And how did the California wildfires impact these numbers?
Interestingly, we have seen economic data from January show some influence from the January cold snap, and unemployment claims have been impacted by the California wildfires. But the BLS says that the survey responses for both the household and survey surveys were within normal range, meaning that today's report doesn't show a discernible impact either from the devastation in LA or from the severe weather.
Marta, switching gears just a little bit, we know the Trump administration just announced a massive buyout program for federal workers. How could this move shake up the jobs numbers going forward as they try to reduce the size of the federal government?
Well, the government sector did help stabilize the jobs market in 2024 as other sectors slowed. But much of the growth in payrolls came at the state and local levels. A smaller, less active federal workforce will be felt, but perhaps not to the degree people expect.
Marta, I want to zero in on another important number in today's report, wages. The Fed continues to watch wages along with other critical elements of the labor market as they assess the impact on inflation. So, what did you see here?
Hourly earnings climbed by 0.5%. That's relative to expectations of 0.3%. Combine the strength with the stability of the rest of the report, and I think the Fed can feel confident that it doesn't have great cutting pressure from a weakening labor market. How quickly inflation continues to cool is still an open question, but one of the most important variables when it comes to inflation is actually shelter costs. And as I pointed out before, real time data shows that those costs are coming down and should help inflation moderate over time. Of course, the tariff impact is still an unknown at this point.
A lot of people watching those housing numbers for sure. What might impact the Fed's decision on rate cuts when they meet in March?
Well, my guess is, given the data that they've had so far, that they're on hold. But upcoming inflation reports and, of course, the broader economic picture will continue to be front and center for the Fed going forward.
All right, Marta, before you go, the most important question of the day: Chiefs or Eagles this weekend?
Well, I'm watching it with a bunch of Chiefs fans, but of course, my contrarian nature is going to kick in, and there's going to be a small part of me that's rooting against them. But really, the most important thing for me is that Chicago Bears get their act together next year.
Marta, never root against the Chiefs. It's Chiefs all the way in my house. It's going to be a fun one to watch for sure. We're going to be back with reaction to the inflation numbers next Wednesday. Thanks so much for watching Taking Stock. Have a great weekend and enjoy the Super Bowl.